Okay. Start over.
So we're about ready to start potato planting this morning. John just got done harrowing the field. Justin over here is mixing up organic inoculants that we apply in furrow and to the seed pieces. In furrow, when you're going down the row with the planter, there are mechanical parts that create a furrow the seed piece is going to go down to. So we dribble in some of these biological inoculants in furrow so it'll be near the seed piece, and we're inoculating the rhizosphere around the soil to get the best growing opportunity for each seed piece. So here Justin is mixing up, we've got about half a dozen different ingredients that we put into it. Once he mixes them up, he puts them into the blue barrels. We fill that with water, and then we pump that into these stainless steel barrels. We plant 2 rows at a time, so we've got 2 barrels, one to supply each row. Here's how it goes. It goes through the back of this tooth off of the chisel plow, and it dribbles under no pressure into the furrow right before the seed piece behind gets planted. So here's the potato planter. You can see the ground up rock fertilizer that we have in the fertilizer box. That stainless steel chain brings it out, and it's metered by how open that door is. Comes out, there's a funnel there, and it drops it into 2 funnels that position that fertilizer 2 inches outside of the seed piece and 2 inches below the seed piece. Because when the seed piece sprouts, the roots are going to go down, so the roots are going to grow into that fertility. So this box is the fertilizer box filled with ground rock organic fertilizer. This is the seed box. First variety we're planting is Yukon Gold. You can see the typical pink eye on the Yukon Gold. Little bit of sprout seems to have been warmed up, and we've kind of interrupted. It was a short green sprouting procedure this year because we didn't have enough time. And the crew, we have 4 sit on back, 2 working on the same row. They cut the seed piece into the appropriate size, lay them onto the segmented conveyor belt, which plants them sequentially. This is called tuber unit planting, which is an old-time technique that seed farmers have used for generations. The bigger ones get cut in half, and then the 2 seed pieces planted together. Those end up getting located in the soil together, and if there's any virus in that one seed piece, you'll see two plants side by side that are maybe stunted a little bit, and you're able to rogue that out. Even better is when you've got a large seed piece, like that's a 7-ounce seed piece that we'd cut into 4 parts, so you'd have 4 parts in a row. And in the summer when we rogue, it's a lot easier to see 4 seed pieces or 2 seed pieces together rather than 1. And in fact, if you just have 1, you often, the neighboring plants grow over it and you don't even notice that. So tuber unit planting is a much better way for aiding us in roguing out any virus that we've got in the seed that we're planting. So up top we've got, it's called a systemic applicator. We call it the Gandy box. And it meters out a small amount of material, and we meter out 20 pounds per acre, and that deposits it in furrow down by the seed piece, and we put together a dry blend of a organic beneficial fungus mixed in with mycorrhiza fungi, all in an effort to inoculate the rhizosphere around where the seed piece is going to go to make it as healthy as it can be for nurturing the healthiest plant.
Another one. Okay, we're all set. Zip tie.
So we've got almost 7,000 pounds of seed per acre. Comes out to 2 3/4 ounces per seed piece. 5.1. That would cut in half. 8.1. And then there are going to be some no cuts that are down below. 2.5. That's just a little bit smaller than what we want. I guess the question is, how many of these, and can we get away with just cutting them in half? Quite a few. So let's say the biggest one's cut in 3, cut the end off, and then cut it, make it a 2 cut.
Okay.
And we'll see how far this gets us. I'd say cut that one in half.
Okay.
Anything smaller, leave it whole.
Okay.
What we're going for is stems per acre. If we cut the big ones up too small, then we're going to get less stems. The small ones have a lot of stems.
Right.
What's that one?
Cut in half.
So we've got with
And the
them-
biggest one's cut in thirds, no fourths.
We'll see how far that gets us.
You want these every hole?
Every hole.
What size do we start cutting threes?
The biggest ones.
Okay.
We hit a good sized rock with the planter, scraped over the top of it. Didn't want to hit it with the harvester this fall. First I got the skid steer and it wasn't enough to really budge anything. So I got the payloader, popped that rock out pretty fast. Now we've got to fix what the payloader kind of tore up there, dug up for the potatoes we planted before we finish our pass for the planter right there. Peter's hairing up the tire tracks from the payloader so we don't have compaction in the field. And Justin and Dad are filling back in where the potatoes were missed there. So we'll get this wrapped up, get back on the planter. Down to our last pass here, planting the main crop of potatoes. Got Peter on the back there with Justin, and Dad's driving the tractor. I'll show you how this whole rig works and what every piece here that you can see does. So we got these 2 tanks on the front, and these do a liquid fertilizer mix.
So in the mid-mount, we dribble in a solution in furrow that's got organic biological inoculants that create a nice atmosphere around the seed piece, all in an effort to try to give as much support as we can to the seed piece to grow a healthy plant, to grow a healthy crop, to grow a crop of seed that is going to yield higher in the next generation.
So when he says the mid-mount, that's the 2 cultivator teeth, the 2 chisel plow teeth right here in the middle of the tractor, and the 2 tanks feed those, 1 tank for each side. Those go down and they make a nice furrow underneath the tuber and where the tuber will be. So it softens up the soil where the tuber will be, so it'll be a nice atmosphere for it to grow in, and nice fluffed up soil, as well as dropping in the liquid mixture. And then on the front of the planter here we have our dry fertilizer that comes down from this big container here, drops down through these rubber hoses. And that feeds out on this from this stainless steel belt, this chain belt, or chain, whatever you want to call it. Just 1 on each side. The dry fertilizer on the front of the planter is a custom mix that we get soil samples done for every field every year, and we send those out and have soil scientists look at that and tell us what the soil is lacking, so that we can make sure that the soil that the potatoes will be in got the perfect amount of nutrients it needs to grow the best crop that we can. We've got 4 fields on the farm we grow our potatoes in. We do a 4-year crop rotation, so you get potatoes in the same field every 4 years, and then those in-between years you build the soil back up so it'll produce a really good clean crop of potatoes. So every field is different. Every mix that we do for the fertilizer is different every year, and it's custom blended for that exact soil. And it would be a really good idea for you to do that if you're growing potatoes or any plants at your house or in your field, whatever. You can get it dialed in so you have the exact right soil. So if you're planting stuff and it keeps failing, likely there's something going on in your soil that particular plant or crop is not happy with. Or you know, your soil is deficient on a certain nutrient that it needs. And then in the back hopper, we of course have the seed potatoes, and so we'll fill this up full. It'll get us a little over a round trip on this 1,000-foot field. We've got Yukon Gold in here right now, and you can see this is the Gandy box that he was talking about. So this just does a very fine amount of dry fertilizer and things, and they come down through these black tubes, go down through there, and it comes out right with the seed piece. Comes right through that little hose right there and drops right in furrow with the potato. So we do tuber unit planting, and what that means is each tuber will stay with itself. So if we end up having to cut them, which we're not with these Yukons because they're nice, perfect size, but if you have to cut them, you lay them next to each other, so that if you find one that has virus or varietal mix or anything that you wouldn't want in your field, its mate will be right beside it. It makes it easier to rogue, easier to pull out the problematic ones, so you can keep your crop nice and clean and have it be exactly what you want it to be. Then on the wagon back here we have extra potatoes, so that if we're in the field and we run out of potatoes, we'll grab those and throw them in the hopper and keep going. So we're down to our last pass. We might do one more little partial pass here to fill in the field, and we're gonna be done. Like I said, it's been about a couple of weeks. Been working at this. between the rain. It's already been a pretty wet spring. Grass is growing like crazy. Everything's really growing well, so we're looking forward to a good season. Should be really good. So we're finally nearing the end of planting. Peter and Justin are just finishing loading up the last of the Yukon Gold, and we just got a couple more rows here, a couple more beds to do. We've got the whole field done here behind me. You can't really tell, but those are all rows of potatoes. It's been about 2 weeks. We've been getting some rain here in between, so just waiting for it to dry out, then getting back out into the field. It's been a great planting. Haven't had any real big issues, so cross our fingers. We'll get the last couple beds in here, no problem. We can move on to picking rocks and doing the long tunnel, doing our seed plots. So here we go. We'll finish this up.